Get the recording started. Okay, welcome everyone to today's IBT operational meeting. I want to remind everyone that this meeting is being recorded so that if you don't want your audio or your video to be recorded, feel free to turn your camera off or mute. Or if you step away to take a phone call or anything else, be sure to mute yourself or turn your camera off. We want to remind everyone to put your name and email in the chat for attendance, as well as to make sure that the right emails are being used for communication for Emma and Angela. So I will let Emma go on from here.
Thanks, Dalton.
Yes.
Welcome, everybody. So I'm just going to jump right into it. Today, we are going to be talking about a brief overview of the grants, some updates. We're going to do a breakout session focused on an elevator pitch. We'll do some share outs and reflections. We'll go over some informational items and then leave space for some question and answers. So we got a jam-packed session today. And if you could, please be sure to write your name, organization email in the chat in some way, shape, or form so we can take attendance and make sure that we have your correct email address on our mailing list. Since we had a lot of fun with that listserv at the beginning of this year. So maybe if I can click, there we go. So our target population for the IBT grants is 16 years of age or older. So these are adults who are not enrolled in high school, youth who are in school preparing to enter their post-secondary education programs or training programs. It also includes adults not enrolled in high school. So these are adults who have limited academic or basic skills, who are underemployed or unemployed, and getting them ready to enter and succeed in credit-bearing post-secondary and training programs that lead to high skill and high wage and in-demand occupations. Also includes in-school youth. So serving in-school youth is an allowable activity only if this services their population prepares them to enter post-secondary education training following graduation. So that should be pretty much common knowledge by this time, but each time we meet for our operational meeting, we will review those just in case there are new folks coming into your programs. And jumping into the grant objectives, we have 4 objectives. A little bit more than that if you consider objective 2 to be more than one. But objective 1 is our adult education, bridge, and integrated education and training programs. Objective 2 is our seamless transitions for college and career pathways, and that's where we have the sub objectives in that as well. Objective 3, we have our wraparound support services. And objective 4 is our seamless transitions for students with disabilities. Okay, now we're going to jump into some guidelines for performance measures. I want everybody to really pay attention and focus on this point because it's really important when it comes to quarterly reporting. So guidelines for performance measures, all performance measures must match those that your program has included on your original performance measures chart with your application. So these measures do not change. You cannot add them across each quarter. You cannot change them across each quarter unless you're doing a modification. When completing your quarter reports, make sure that you use whole numbers, not percentages, not symbols, whatever you are choosing to use, please make sure you're just using whole numbers. And make sure that you're using the template that's provided. So some examples of this, we have an example right here. So over on the left-hand side, you'll see those planned deliverables and performance measures. You'll see in some of these, like the third one down, it says hire 3 part-time instructors to teach truck driving. And then across the quarters, you'll see that those numbers add up to the number provided in that left-hand column. So that's one thing that I've noticed while reviewing some of these quarterly reports that we need to make sure that we are doing so those numbers add or reflect, or the goal is to complete that number in the left-hand column. If you are just doing one activity, like you're hiring a program director, then you can reflect that as a 1 when you do that, complete that when you do complete that activity and performance measure. So that's totally fine. If you do not complete it, that's, hopefully the goal is that you do complete it by the end of the life of the grant. But if you do not, then you can just reflect it as a 0 or leaving it blank. Your financial quarterly reporting, just a reminder, they are due at the end of next week, Thursday of next week, on the 30th. I will probably say that about 10 more times in this meeting, just to make sure everybody knows that both your performance measures and your financial reporting, they are due on Thursday of next week, the 30th. So this is what your quarterly financial report will look like. In this section where it has the grantee, that is your institution name. For the program, that is the IBT FY26 grant. It is not the Huskies or whatever it is that you are naming your program internally. This is the FY26 IBT grant. Your grant number is that's the number on your grant agreement. Report quarter, that's FY26 Q2 for this week or for this month. And then each quarter will be consecutively named. So your UEI is your institution's number. The term start and end date, that's going to be January 1, 26 through March 31st of 27. So this is the entire life of the grant. Before I move on, any questions so far about quarterly reporting for programmatic or financial? Feel free to come off mute or drop something in the chat,
Can I add something, Emma?
please.
So if any of you are planning on doing a budget mod, you know you're going to do a budget mod, or you need to do something, the column in the middle that says current approved budget, do not change that until you have done a budget modification and it has been approved. If you spend over by $5 or $10, that's okay, but don't change your approved budget. Your approved budget line is your approved budget lines. So your grant expenditures may be higher or lower, whatever, but make sure your approved budget matches your approved. Those categories do not change.
You're jumping ahead of me, but thank you.
Okay.
It's important.
Sorry.
Megan.
I'm looking at the programmatic report, and it looks like there's a column for Q1, but there's not a column for Q2. Do you want us to manually create that Q2 column, or were you guys going to send an updated form for us to fill out?
Interesting. We will send an updated one. Thank you for calling that out. Let me just write this down.
So Megan, is it like Q1, 3, 4, and 5, and it's just missing a Q2, or it just stops at Q1?
It just has Q1 showing in the attached file. So yeah, I mean, if you want to give us one that has all the Qs and then we can just fill it out, then you guys don't have to keep updating, and that would be fine.
That's perfect. Sorry about that, guys.
I think that was probably the initial plan, but best laid plans.
Yeah.
Wait, can I ask a question? This
please.
is Elizabeth. You're talking the programmatic, the programmatic performance measures?
Correct. The quarterly report, from my understanding.
Yeah, mine has a quarter too, just letting you know.
Okay. Thank you. So I'll just make sure that goes out to everybody, just so everybody has it. Sorry if yours is missing that.
Actually, I'm sorry. It's a tab at the bottom, and I didn't notice that. I thought it was just the chart. So my apologies. That's my failure to look at the bottom of the screen. Never mind.
That's totally fine. That's
I also have a question. I had more performance measures than what slots were available. Would you be able to extend that, because you do a lovely job in carrying it over from page to page? And so it's fine. I copy and paste them, but I always am fearful that by the time I hit Q5, I've missed something. So is there any way to just extend the amount of rows that we have access to?
Yeah, can do. Sorry, I was writing that down. Thanks, Corey.
Thank you.
Anything else? I'll give you more space at the end or later on to ask questions, but okay. If anything else comes up, please drop it in the chat or come off mute, doubt me, whatever you need to do. Okay, thinking about data collection and record keeping. So first of all, at the end of the grant, a JOT form demographic survey will go out for you all to complete. about your student served. So this is going to include gender, ethnicity, age, disability status, and veteran status. So you will be responsible for recording those at the end of the grant. So that brings me to my next point. It's best practice to keep internal records of student information. Further, the records are subject to be requested and reviewed by ICCB staff. So just keep that. Dalton, it looks like somebody might be in the waiting room. So keep that in mind that it's best practice to keep those internal records. It will save you later on down the line when you are trying to submit this job form, but also subject to be reviewed by us. And the data will be collected annually at the close of the year. So that's going to be due April 30th, along with your Q5 reports. Questions about data collection and record keeping? Great. All right, now we're going to go into some breakout sessions. Like I said, we are going to be focusing our time on an elevator pitch. Who here has heard of an elevator pitch? You can raise your hand, or if you want to tell me what it is, that's great. Nobody's heard of it. Wow. So an elevator pitch is selling your program in like 60 seconds, 90 seconds, or yes. Use car sale if you've heard it called either of those things, that's great. But you're selling your program in about 60 to 90 seconds. So today in your breakout groups, you are going to describe or create your elevator pitch or use car sales pitch, whatever you want to call it. And it's supposed to be persuasive, that sparks interest in what your program does. I know this is 30 to 60, but I feel like 30 seconds is near impossible. So let's do 60 to 90, and that is kind of where you are depending on how tall your building is, how long your elevator ride is. So say you meet somebody in the elevator and you're trying to pitch your program. What would you say? What would make your program unique? What skills or competencies do your graduates bring to the workplace? So maybe it's a work partner that you are going to be speaking with. What kind of partnerships or engagement are you seeking? So again, potential partners. And why should this employer or individual care about what your program is? So Dalton is going to share a document in the chat that you can record your notes on. These should be useful for you. So that way you can take this back and say to your programs or whomever you're speaking with, like, this is my elevator pitch. This is what I'm going to use if I do meet somebody brand new and I want to give them a brief rundown of what we do at our institution for the IBT grant. So thank you, Dalton. There is a Word document in the chat. You can click to download, and then you can open it up on your side. And you can use it as a note catcher in our breakout groups. So after we come back, we'll do a quick debrief. I'll give space for anybody to share if they would like to. And moving forward. So these are our groups. Objective 1, you're broken up into group 1A, group 1B. So this is group 1, and you should have the ability to jump into your breakout rooms in just a moment. So group 1 is objective 1. Group 1A is objective 1. Group 1B, Dalton, stop me if I'm wrong, is objective 1 as well.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't name them group 2 or 1. I just named
That's
them.
fine. That's my fault. Sorry about
No,
that.
it's okay. I'm fixing it now. Good.
Okay, great. So group 1 will be objective 1 in this group. If you see your name twice, I apologize. Just feel free to jump into whichever one. And group 2 is objective 1 as well. Group 3 is objective 2. This includes all the sub-objectives as well. Group 4 is objective 3. And group 5 is objective 4. If you find yourself in objective 4, the group 5, and you are the only one, which I don't think will be the case today, but feel free to jump into a different group if that's you. Okay, so we can open up those breakout rooms. If you don't know where you're going, please come off mute and let us know, and we can help you get to where you're going. You should have a button at the bottom of your Zoom window that says join a breakout room. And from there you can join the different groups. Happy elevator pitching.
I believe the groups are open.
Okay. Yep,
I don't
groups
know if
should
I
be
see it
open.
on my end.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it, but
Yep.
I'm happy to use my phone.
All right, I'll close them and open them again. Open all rooms. Did we get a notification now?
Nope.
Hmm.
No.
No, are
might
you sure you added the participants in?
So you might have to go under your more. So the more with the 3 dots, and then is there a breakout room option?
There
You
is
see
now. It
room?
just popped up.
It just popped up. Yep.
I think Zoom just updated this week, and I think I had to click a second little button to allow people to pick their rooms. There we go.
Love updates. Last
Lovely.
minute, any notice too.
Excellent.
Love it.
Well, thank you everyone for working with us here. All right, I'm going to pause the recording.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope this exercise was helpful for you to think about priorities in your program, what is there to share and show off and highlight. So before we move on, I am wondering if we have any volunteers to share their pitch. Any takers, feel free to just come off mute and get started.
I can go.
Great.
Peter Murphy, Joliet Junior College. We run a program. We most certainly do. It is a program that ties high school credit recovery with workplace literacy. We help students recover credit so that they can earn their diplomas through their home high school while teaching them job skills in the workplace, while also putting together plans or applying to post-secondary training or post-secondary education. So essentially, take out of school youth, help them earn their high school diploma, do some workplace literacy, set up a plan for the future, and then we either enact that plan with them if they feel like they're ready, or we put a timeline, a plan together for them to do so.
Great. Thanks, Peter. Anybody else want to share? Volunteers?
I'll volunteer to share.
Thanks, Megan.
I'm Megan Jones at Waubonsee Community College. This year, our IBT effort is focused on supporting adults that are transitioning into their first semester of credit classes at the college. Excuse me.
Very cool.
We are specifically targeting English 101 and Business 100 as gateway courses where many different pathways lead from those classes. And we're providing a mandatory orientation. I'm sorry. Not sure why I'm so froggy. Mandatory orientation and monthly success workshops that the learners will attend. These have been designed with feedback from previous adult learners who have successfully navigated the transition, so that we're really targeting things that will help these learners to be successful. And so included in the program is free tuition, materials, books, as well as barrier reduction support related to transportation, childcare, housing, all of the things that we know can make it difficult for adult learners to be successful. And we're really excited about launching these cohorts in the fall.
Thanks, Megan. And I'll leave space for one more. Last volunteer, if anybody wants to jump on in, feel free. All right. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Megan, for sharing. So I just want to take a moment for you all to reflect on the following 3 questions. I would love to hear what felt most challenging about the pitch. Was it, I don't know, you tell me. How might you adjust your pitch depending on who the partner is, who the person is that you're speaking to, and what support or data would help you strengthen your message? So feel free to pick one or all of those questions, and I'd love to hear some responses from you all. And there's also a place on your sheet where you can record those responses to think and reflect on later.
You know what? I thought the hardest part about the pitch was how short it was. Yeah, and it really forced me to kind of, and then when I thought I was running out of time, I would speed up, to try to get everything in. And then I was in reflection, and I was like, man, because one of the thoughts was, oh, wow, you shared this. And then I said, oh, I could have also shared some additional stats to show how successful our program is. And that would make, a really big difference. So definitely data really supports our pitch. So anyway, the biggest challenge was definitely the timeline.
Yeah, whenever I do this activity, I always find that the hardest part is the time frame. Anybody else want to share or reflect on those three questions?
This is Rennie. For me, the biggest challenge was the fact that I've never done an elevator pitch and the complete inexperience and lack of confidence that goes with that. It was overwhelming. So I'm guessing it's a skill, so people need practice.
Yeah, for sure.
Hi,
And
Emma. Can you hear me?
yeah,
Okay. If it's okay with you, I'll share my pitch and then I'll go into one of the sub questions there on the screen.
yeah,
So for Kaskaskia College, we are focusing this year with our Innovative Bridge grant on providing and connecting our students to resources, whether that's helping them get signed up for Medicare, helping them get connected to WIC, things like that. And we're offering comprehensive wraparound services for our students, including childcare, gas cards for transportation, emergency housing as needed, things like that. We're working with our IT department, to set up a benefits navigator page, and then we're working with an outside vendor to connect all those resources together. So we're really focused on connecting our students to the resources, like I said. As far as, when you're creating your elevator pitch, I think that obviously it depends on who you're presenting it to because you have to know who your audience is. What's going to be most impactful when talking to that person? If it's an employer, partnership you want to speak to, I can provide you with 30 potential people that you're going to hire, right? When you're talking to students, it's that we can help you with childcare, gas cards, things like that. So I think one of the biggest things with elevator pitch is definitely know who your audience is.
yeah, that's a really helpful piece of advice. Thanks, Lindsay. Okay, so any last thoughts before we move on? Well, I hope you guys are able to take that and use it in the real world, out in the wild. So that way you can share all the great things that your program is doing. Okay, some informational items. So I sent this out a while ago, but if you didn't get it, I'm going to reshare this document. In UNA, UNA sends specific notifications out to the contacts that you all put in there. ICCB is not responsible, and we cannot add those contacts into UNA. That's what you all are responsible for, to make sure you're receiving any notes that we send through UNA, or any notifications, verifications that you had your reports updated or uploaded, so on and so forth. So I sent out some directions. I'll resend them out. So one thing I do want to note is there's these pieces of directions, and then some of you reached out saying that you still weren't receiving things. So there is a details tab that's at the top in UNA that you might have to go into and make sure you're adding those contacts in there as well. So I will include that in the directions, but make sure you guys have your contacts updated. If you have new staff, change of staff, make sure you're updating those as well. Angela briefly touched on budget modification information. So the budget mods, if you know you're going to do one, just some pieces of information. Those are completed all within UNA. Please do not send any forms to us via email. We will direct you towards UNA. In the document that I will send out, it's a step-by-step direction. The document says ample funds still. We don't have any updated. If you were with us last year that say UNA, but same directions apply. And if you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. Chris Blankenhorn is also our compliance contact who can help you as well. But if you need anything, I'm always available. So kind of in the same vein, on the same note, quarterly reports are done within UNA, similar to budget modifications, with only 2 uploads, one for programmatic, one for fiscal. For your quarterly reports, please make sure you're reporting on both of those, programmatic and fiscal. I've received some already that have come through, and I know that fiscal lives in a different house sometimes than programmatic, but make sure both of those reports are getting submitted by July 30th. Payment requests. Please do not send in payment requests through UNA. All of the funds are received up front. So if you believe you have not received your funds yet, please contact me immediately today after the meeting, so we can get that figured out. But I believe everybody should have received their funds. And then just a final note that budget modifications are done within UNA. And back to what Angela was saying at the beginning of this call, do not change your current budget in your reporting. That if you do a budget modification, if you submit for one, that does not change until it's approved by ICCB. So if you have questions about that, if you're feeling confused about budget mods, feel free to reach out.
Can I add something else really quickly, Emma?
Sure.
For FY26 IBT, you are not required to enter expenses into UNA. I know some other grants have started that requirement. Moving forward, you are not required to do that in this grant at this point. So if you see that, don't panic. You don't need to do those.
Correct. Right now, you're plugging them in how Chris described in his email. That's by line item. So keep doing that. Don't worry about plugging in expenses yet. I think nope, I did it. So coming up, we have some more professional development meetings. We have one on August 18th. We have the Forum for Excellence, which we're encouraging everybody to go to and attend in September. So in lieu of a professional development meeting, we're asking you all to go experience everything, soak up all the knowledge and goodness in September. And then November, we have one on November 17th. And these all take place at 10 a.m. The professional development meetings are an hour, where the operational meetings are an hour and a half. If you have any ideas, or if you at your institution would like to present at one of these professional development meetings, please reach out. We would love to have you present on a variety of topics. And if there are any topics that you are like, I need to learn more about this, let us know as well, and we can see what we can do to incorporate those things or topics. Operational meetings, we have one coming up in October, January, and then our closeout meeting is technically a professional development meeting, but we're treating it as a closeout reporting meeting. So please, I would really strongly encourage you to come, invite your fiscal staff to join us if those are 2 different houses. That seems like a really far way away, but I'm sure it'll creep up on most of us. Thank you, Megan. If you need to register for the professional development meetings, I will also include that in our follow-up email. It's similar, and some of you guys reached out to me. The registration is under the Zoom link that I sent out yesterday in the reminder, but that's for operational meetings, so I will send out the professional development meetings, and Dalton just beat me to it, so I'll include that as well. I'm just going to drop this to myself so it's easy access. Okay. So contact before we get into any questions. Program support staff, that's me. My information's right there. If you got my email about Angela stepping away, she's obviously here. She's just doing some other projects and initiatives. So feel free to reach any IBT questions straight to me. If you have compliance questions, you can also reach out directly to Chris Blankenhorn, and his contact information is there. He will also be sending the reminders for quarterly reporting and some of those details. Okay. Spoke a little bit fast. We're early on time. Any
Are
questions?
you worried about your elevator pitch being only 60 seconds, Emma?
I was very worried. Any questions from the group? Anything that I'm missing, Angela, that you can think of?
I am still here. I'm not leaving the agency or anything. You're welcome to send me emails and I will forward what I can to Emma.
Yeah.
I mean, I can answer them too, but it just makes sense to leave them, have everything go through Emma. So then she's not trying to figure out what did I tell you versus what did she tell you. So
Yes, thank you. One thing that just popped into my head, if you have not included your name and contact information into the chat, please make sure you do so before you leave. But other than that, if there are no questions, thank you so much. If there are no questions, feel free, excuse me, to go about your day and have a lovely week and reach out if you guys need anything. Thank you.